What if everything you built vanished? The job, the love, the identity you spent years becoming, gone. Now you're staring at your reflection, wondering, how do I even begin again? Let me tell you something most people never hear. You are one decision away from a completely different life. Not the one they expect, the one you choose. This is not your ending. This is your awakening.
No one talks about the emptiness after everything breaks. The job is gone, the relationship has ended, the path you were walking suddenly vanishes, and you're left with a single terrifying question. Now what? But here's the truth most people never hear. Restarting your life isn't a step backward. It's the most courageous leap forward you'll ever take. In Good Will Hunting, Will is a genius, but broken. Pushed away by his past, scared to live a different story. Until one moment, one conversation changes it all. Sean tells him, "It's not your fault," and that truth sets him free. That's how every restart begins, with honesty. Not about the world, about yourself. You are not the person you used to be, and that's okay. Because the greatest chapters are written after you let go of the ones that hurt. We all grow up with a script. Go to school, get a job, build a life, be who they say you should be. But what if that map leads you somewhere you never wanted to go? That's what Into the Wild is about. Christopher McCandless leaves everything behind: money, family, identity, to find what's real. Not comfort, not success, freedom. Your restart might not look that extreme, but the principle is the same. To create a new life, you have to be willing to leave the old one behind. Steve Jobs was fired from his own company, humiliated, lost. But in that space, he said, the heaviness of being successful was replaced by the lightness of being a beginner again. He started again. He came back stronger. And when he returned to Apple, he didn't just build a company, he changed the world. The clock whispers lies. It says you're too old, too behind, too far gone. But let's rewrite that. Morgan Freeman didn't get his first big movie role until he was 52. Colonel Sanders started KFC at 65. Vera Wang entered fashion at 40. Stan Lee created Spider-Man at 39. The restart doesn't follow a timeline, it follows belief. In The Secret Life of Walter Mitty, Walter was invisible, a daydreamer, but when he finally stepped into the unknown, into adventure, his real life began. Your past doesn't cancel your future. Your age doesn't shrink your potential. And your delay? It might have been destiny preparing you for the next version of you. You are not late. You are right on time to start again. You don't find yourself. You create yourself. Restarting your life isn't about returning to who you were, it's about becoming who you were always meant to be. In Batman Begins, Bruce Wayne returns to Gotham not as a broken orphan, but as a force forged in pain and purpose. He says, "It's not who I am underneath, but what I do that defines me." That's the blueprint of a new life. Cut the noise, forgive yourself, choose a new mission, and then build every day with intent. Real-life example? Maya Angelou, a single mother, dancer, and singer who had her voice taken from her as a child. But she reclaimed it through poetry, through power, through truth. She restarted not by forgetting her pain, but by using it as her platform. So can you. The outside world can lie. It can trick you with status, with numbers, with noise. But real restarts, they start inside. In Eat, Pray, Love, Elizabeth Gilbert leaves everything, the life everyone said was perfect, to rediscover joy, peace, self-respect. Her journey wasn't about escape. It was about coming home to herself. In real life, actor Terry Crews walked away from a toxic identity, rooted in ego and rage. He rebuilt his life with therapy, transparency, and truth. Now he's not just successful, he's whole. And that's what you're after, isn't it? Not a flash, not a quick win. A life that feels like yours. So strip it all back. The lies, the limits, the labels. And say out loud, I get to begin again. And this time, I won't hold back.
Restarting doesn't begin when you add something. It begins when you release what's been holding you down. In Castaway, Tom Hanks' character Chuck loses everything in a plane crash. Stranded, alone. Years pass. His world becomes the island. But when he finally builds the courage to leave, to risk the open sea, he doesn't carry everything. He carries only what matters. And that's the lesson. You can't carry your future in hands full of your past. Sometimes it's not fear that keeps you stuck. It's attachment to the identity that's no longer true, to the people who don't support your growth, to the comfort that's quietly killing you. To restart, you must detach. Say goodbye to what was. Say thank you, and walk toward what can be. Your life is a reflection of your rituals. What you do every day, that's who you become. James Clear wrote in Atomic Habits, "You do not rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems." If you want a new life, start small. Wake up earlier. Move your body. Feed your mind. Speak better words to yourself. In Limitless, Eddie Mora's life is a mess, unmotivated, scattered, lost. But once he gains clarity and structure, his world transforms, not because of a pill, but because he finally aligned his focus. That can be you without the magic pill. Just structure, just effort, just belief stacked daily. One habit at a time, you become unrecognizable to the person you are. You can't build a future you can't see. And most people stay trapped, not because of their pain, but because they've forgotten how to imagine something better. In The Alchemist, Santiago follows a dream, a treasure he saw in his heart, long before the world believed in it. Your vision doesn't need validation, it needs intensity. So take a breath. Picture it. The life you want to wake up to, the people you want around you, the work that makes your soul light up, the version of you that walks into rooms with peace, not pressure. Now write it, draw it, speak it out loud, because the restart doesn't begin when things change. It begins when you decide to live with vision again. Restarting sounds beautiful until you feel the weight. It's not just change, it's war. Against your old self, against doubt, against the comfort that begs you to stay the same. In The War of Art, Stephen Pressfield calls it resistance, that invisible force that shows up the moment you decide to level up. But here's the gift hidden in resistance. It only shows up when you're doing something meaningful. So if fear is louder, keep going. If no one believes yet, keep building. If it feels impossible, good. You're in the right place. The only way to silence resistance is not to argue, but to act. Step again and again until your doubt breaks before your discipline does. You are not born to live one story. You are allowed to reinvent yourself as many times as needed. Madonna, David Bowie, Lady Gaga, they didn't survive the industry by staying the same. They evolved, adapted, transformed. You can too. In Iron Man, Tony Stark was a careless genius until he was forced to see the damage his life caused. He didn't deny it. He transformed. He became Iron Man, not with a clean past, but with a clear purpose. And in real life, people like Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson didn't stay stuck in identity. From football player to wrestler to global actor and businessman. He didn't repeat, he reinvented. So ask yourself, what version of me do I need to become? What old skin must I shed? What fire must I walk through to get there? Because restarting your life means declaring, the old me was necessary, but the new me is non-negotiable.